Bailey LLP to present. Your firm was asked not to view the interviews that preceded you. Can you confirm to the best of your knowledge that your firm did not view those interviews?
This is Leela Miller, and yes, we can confirm to the best of our knowledge.
Okay, and Mr. Miller, do you know, is your team all on and ready to present?
We're sorry, sir. It looks like they're having a couple difficulties getting in, so.
No worries. It's a new world of virtual presentations, so we'll take whatever time we need to get everybody queued up and ready to go.
All right, thank you.
And once we do, then you'll have 10 minutes for your presentation, and we'll have staff set the clock for 10 minutes. And
okay. I certainly hope this is not going to be a presentation of one. As we're waiting.
I can hear you.
Okay, good, Eric.
Hi.
I'm here, Lee.
And who was that?
Jody.
Jody.
Lee, Roger's on the line.
Okay, I think all of you need to click on your video.
My video's on.
Okay.
Shiloh's here.
Lee, I think we're pretty much here.
okay, E. Bailey LLP, thank you for being here to present. You'll have 10 minutes for your presentation, and staff will please start the clock for 10 minutes when E. Bailey LLP staff begins to give their presentation.
All right, thank you. Can you advance the slide one, please? Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is Jody Doherty, and I've been a government auditor for more than 25 years. I'm the partner in charge of the government practice at Eide Bailly, and I was elected to our firm's board of directors last year. I participate on the firm's advisory committee, which advises our National Assurance Office. Calpers is a priority client to our firm, and that's why I'm involved as the partner in charge of the government practice to ensure the resources that are needed for this engagement are being dedicated to you. Now let me tell you a little bit about Eide Bailly and our government practice. Next slide, please. Eide Bailly has been around for more than a century and is in the top 25 CPA firms in the nation. In our last fiscal year, we had net fees of over $387 million. We have 330 partners and principals and 2,500 staff members serving our clients in 40 offices across 14 states. This includes 10 offices and 300 professionals here in the state of California. Next slide, please. Serving the public sector is our largest practice, with over 1,200 engagements being served by 275 staff and partner. Within this practice, we also work with 10 out of the top 100 post-employment benefit plans. These statewide plans are in Utah, Colorado, Idaho, Oklahoma, Iowa, Missouri, West Virginia, Wyoming, Mississippi, and South Dakota. We also audit the investments of 3 plans in Washington State through our audit of the Washington State Investment Board. The value proposition of our government practice is this. Our relationship with state and local governments is not about compliance needs. It's about year-round informed communication backed by national thought leadership and GASB expertise. We try to live this value proposition in our everyday interactions with our clients. We believe in a team concept led by experienced partners and principals, and we have proposed a solid team that will serve as your trusted advisors. With me today is Leela Miller, your proposed engagement partner, and Roger Alfaro, your proposed client service executive. We have also brought to the table with us 6 partners and principals whose expertise will be called upon during the engagement. Also with us today is our actuarial consultant, Mary Beth Redding from Bartel Associates. And with that, let me turn it over to Leela Miller.
Thank you, Jody. Next slide, please. My name is Leela Miller, and I'll be your engagement partner, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to be able to work with Calpers. I've been auditing state and local governments, including state public pension plans, for the past 30 years, but my biggest passion is serving our state plans. My role is to make sure that we meet and exceed Calpers' expectations, working closely with the audit committee, management, and the audit team throughout the year. We will meet those expectations. Now I'm going to have the rest of the team introduce themselves.
I'm Roger Alfaro, a partner in the Government Services Group, and for over 20 years, I've specialized in serving local governments with audits and other advisory services, as well as implementing many GASB pronouncements. I will serve as the California Relationship Partner, and in this role, I will work closely with Leland and the audit team to ensure that the needs of Calpers are being addressed, as well as assisting with the coordination of local California resources to the various phases and segments of the audit. Please advance the next slide.
Hi, my name is Eric Pulse, and I'm the principal in charge of Eide Bailly's Risk Advisory Services practice. I've been in public accounting and consulting for over 25 years, and have spent my entire career in internal and IT security controls across a myriad of industries, including state government, which is where I started my career. The focus of my career has been data integrity, assessing, evaluating, and testing internal and IT controls to ensure the integrity of our clients' data is upheld. I will be supporting the audit team with respect to pervasive internal IT and security controls.
Hi, my name is Shyla Gorospe, and I've been in public accounting for over 20 years. My career has been dedicated to serving local educational agencies throughout California. My role is to represent the California government expertise in schools, higher education, cities, counties, and other government entities. And this allows us to dedicate those resources who are familiar with the Calpers programs as we engage in the GASB 68 pension accounting portion of the audit. And as a member of Eide Bailly's board of directors, I will work closely with firm management in ensuring that the resource needs are met for Calpers.
Hi, I'm Mary Beth Redding. I'm a partner with Bartel Associates, and I'm proud to be part of the Eide Bailly team. Bartel Associates is a California-based actuarial firm working entirely in the public sector. I've assisted with audits of statewide pension systems and been a resource for California agencies and their auditors in implementing the pension and OPEB GASB statements. And I'm very familiar with Calpers. My role will be to verify the reasonableness of the actuarial amounts reported and their compliance with both the GASB statements and actuarial standards of practice.
Hi, my name is Eric Berman, partner with Eide Bailly. My role will be the go-to person providing you unlimited advice on anything GASB during our engagement in the same way I do for all of our public sector clients. As you've seen from my profile, I was just like you, including choosing independent auditors and being ex officio. You're saying, why should we pick you? We care about our clients, and we're not here to say gotcha. Eide Bailly is committed to the public sector unlike any other firm due to our at-the-table role at the GASB. Eide Bailly, one firm, one team working for you.
Next slide, please. As you can see from the slide, we have provided a short list of why Calpers should select Eide Bailly. As the nation's largest defined pension plan, Calpers needs a firm that has the necessary resources to meet your needs, and we have those resources. We assembled the best team. This team has had several years of experience working on more than 15 public pension plans. We have a great actuarial team with direct experience with pension, healthcare, and long-term care pension plans. We have added Mary Beth Redding to bring the California expertise and additional experience from large pension plans. Our GASB 68 and 75 teams deal with complex processes of the census data testing and the GASB 68 reporting. We've assigned these teams based on the type of governance and geographic locations. We've invested in advanced data analytics. We focus on hiring the right people and developing the right tools. And the data analytics group will work with the audit team to increase audit quality and effectiveness. Our governmental practice is the largest industry, which translates to huge internal investments. And this investments includes involvement in organizations like the AICPA State and Local Government Expert Panel. We're also sponsor and speak at the Public Pension Financial Forum and the National Association of State Retirement Ministers at their annual conferences. Every year we get together, we discuss issues, and we go through things that are pertaining to our pension plan group, and that allows us to, train others, create a firm perspective, and spread the knowledge amongst all the members of the group. Roger.
Our team is collaborative in bringing the depth of experience and specialties from across the firm to do things differently and better for our clients. For Calpers, our collaboration means that we'll approach the audit as a team effort. We're independent and objective, and we'll work through issues in a direct and respectful manner, but we will partner with Calpers in tailoring our audit approach and promptly responding to your needs. One of the keys to a successful audit process is communication. Open, honest, and proactive communication ensures that we avoid surprises, anticipate challenges, and work together to solve problems. Through our brainstorming sessions with Calpers management, our accessibility, as well as meaningful involvement of Eide Bailly partners, as well as the webinars that we'll provide your staff, Calpers will have a year-round resource with Eide Bailly. And lastly, Eide Bailly has a significant economic presence and robust government practice in California. Our local presence provides our engagement approach a higher level understanding of the Calpers plans, as well as flexibility in responding timely to the needs of the audit and Calpers. Back to you, Leela.
All right, thank you. The last thing I just wanted to bring up is the fact that, we have a number of these expertise that are part of this panel today, like our IT, business valuation, the investment group, they all have extensive experience performing similar services. So they already know and understand the unique aspects of a plan just like yours. We want to thank you for this opportunity, and we'll turn it over for any questions.
Great, thank you. This concludes that portion. So we will now proceed to the 20-minute question and answer segment of the interview. Eide Bailly LLP, you have a total of 8 questions. Please plan your time accordingly. Staff will please start the clock for 20 minutes when the first question is asked. And I will ask the first question. Would you confirm that your firm has read the proposed contract included in the RFP at Exhibit 4 and is prepared to sign these terms and conditions as they've been presented if your firm is the successful proposer?
Yes, we have read the terms and the conditions, and we are ready to sign those as currently being reported in the RFP process.
Okay, the next question is from Ms. Middleton.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Now, my apology, my other phone was ringing just a long time. All right. Please describe your firm's culture and values. How do they align with Calpers' diversity and inclusion? What concrete steps and metrics is your firm using to ensure a diverse workforce?
It's good to know that I'm not the only one that has a problem with the phones. I had to just unplug it. So, we're going to go ahead and have Jody address that question for you.
Thank you for that question. Diversity and inclusion is very important to Eide Bailly. It's our mission to create an inclusive and diverse environment where we build a workforce that's reflective of the communities in which we serve, especially as it relates to our communities in California. Several years ago, we had a vision to try and shrink the gap between the male and female partners. We could see that every year, 50% of our new hires were women, but that 50-50 ratio declined every year as it got closer to the partner. So we created a task force that we named First Focus to try to help bring the stats closer together. Today, we have a ratio of about 68% male partners and 32% female partners. While we have a long ways to go, we are ahead of many of our peers in the industry. And as we said today, both Shiloh and I are members of the board of directors for Eide Bailly, so 2 of the members out of 5 are women. But diversity and inclusion is more than just the female-male ratio. We do have a new task force, several task forces actually that have been created that include everyone from staff to partners are on these task force depending on where their interests were. And the focus will be diversity and inclusion and in areas such as recruitment, education, and communication. And trying to become a more inclusive and diverse firm. Lee, anything you want to add to that?
No, not at this time. Thank you, Jody.
Okay, next question from Mr. Ruffino.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. What sets your firm apart from the other public accounting firms? Why should we select a larger firm versus a smaller firm, or vice versa? What are the benefits?
You know, we figured you're going to ask that question, and so we went through a whole list of things, and so we appreciate this opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and address the large firm versus a smaller firm. You know, in my experience in my career, I started with our large national firm, and I went and worked for, after a few years there, I went and worked for a local firm. And then, of course, we merged with Eide Bailly over 15 years ago. And Eide Bailly has grown over the years since that point in time. So why a smaller firm? And I think the biggest difference is we've been a small firm. We've been, in a sense, you want to say an underdog, and so we're always fighting, be able to show that we have experience and expertise. And so we're excited about when these type of opportunities come along. We've spent the last 10 years building this public pension plan where we started with 1 or 2 plans to where we now have over 15 plans as we've reported, and that's just because we have this growth mentality, but we also provide the type of quality service that is needed because, and that is shown by the number of plans that we've added over the years. So, Eric.
Certainly from my standpoint, attending the GASB meetings and being at the highest levels of our profession is very important. And there's no other firm that I see meeting after meeting after meeting that attend, provide feedback, and are leading the standard setting process and providing information to the GASB directly from our clients. We even have a senior fellow that is detailed over to the GASB over the next 2 years. So that's a piece that sets us apart. Another piece that sets us apart in my mind is you know, having worked at a small firm and then merged into a larger firm, is that, you know, we focus on government. We aren't folks who do SEC work during part of the year and then say, oh yeah, we need to go work on government work. That's just not who we are. The professionals who will work with you are dedicated government professionals and understand the state and local environment, and particularly the public pension plan environment, exactly what you need. Lee.
All right, Jody was going to go ahead and present a few.
Yeah, I was just going to add to that. Thank you, Eric and Lee. Another thing about Eide Bailly is even though we are across 14 different states, we work very collaboratively together, and we we're not siloed, so we work as one firm, one team. So when Roger or Shiloh need help, I'm there to help. When I need help, they are as well. So that I just wanted to add that to the conversation.
Right.
And if I might, interject and add on to that, certainly that's proven itself immeasurably during this COVID crisis, where we're all working remotely. We hit the ground running within an hour or so of everybody working remotely, everybody working as a team, and everybody using the same information. And you just don't get that in a lot of larger firms.
Thank you, Jody and Eric.
Okay, thank you. Next question. What is your firm's experience in auditing large public pension systems with complex investments similar to Calpers?
Okay. We mentioned, the number, and also we mentioned the different states, the different statewide plans. I'm going to focus on our biggest one, at least from an investment side, and then I'll go to the second one. But we do the audit for the Washington State Investment Board. The Washington State Investment Board invests funds for several different agencies and entities, but of course their largest one is the retirement system. And so we're auditing the actual investments. Total investments for WSIB is $140 billion. They have all the similar investments that Calpers has, at least from the general perspective. We know each plan has different aspects, unique items, and everyone has a different process or perspective from their investment side of things. But we understand alternative investments, we understand real assets, we understand the complexity for your derivatives, and so we've got a really good understanding from our audit experience there. The other one I wanted to point out too is the Utah Retirement Board. They have everything across the board, not only from a pension, but they also have OPEB. They have multiple employers aspects, similar things that are to CalPERS. And so those are just two examples of the broad and the depth plan that we have when it comes to our pension plans.
If I may add, a few, we've just added West Virginia. We do Mississippi. We do 3 plans in Oklahoma. All of which have complex investments. Plans in Colorado, all of which have complex investments. And TJ Bird, he's having problems, I think, with his microphone, and he's the head of our private equity practice, and he's supposed to be on with us right now, and he leads helping audit complex investments and so on, many of which are what you invest in.
Thank you. Next question comes from Ms. Middleton.
Thank you. CalPERS is constantly impacted by new laws and regulations. How will your firm ensure your staff is up to date with regulatory requirements for public pension systems?
We're going to go ahead and have Roger and Shiloh answer that question.
Yes, thank you very much for the question. And with respect to addressing regulatory requirements, I'll tell a little bit about the structure of the firm. Within the firm, we have a national assurance office, and that office is comprised of industry specialists and various other specialists that provide guidance to the rest of the firm in terms of understanding audit requirements, regulatory requirements, as well as how the firm implements those requirements throughout. Further, we have industry committees referred to as technical industry committees that have experts and specialists from within the firm, again, with respect to industries. Those groups are forward-looking and working with standard setters on requirements that are going to impact the audit in the firm. And at the same time, the information that they gather as part of that process is being used to develop the training programs internally for the firm. The staff all attend training based on level. They also attend training based on industry expertise. And for example, even today, we had a training on some specialized requirements that are going to impact local governments. And so from that perspective, we're providing numerous amounts of training, webinars, as well as on-site training pre-COVID. But we have those mechanisms in place to be able to keep the staff informed of the regulatory requirements in order to meet the audit expectations associated with the clients that we serve.
If I may add, and then I'm going to hand it over to Shiloh, we have a Washington, D.C. liaison who is specifically focused on watching what's going on Capitol Hill. Obviously, these days, the biggest thing is anything happening with not only COVID-19 and CARES Act, of course, but also tax law and so on. Scott, Shiloh, do you want to talk about how we deal with regulatory operations in California and training and so on?
Sure. Thanks, Eric. So just to add that last little bit there, as part of the National Insurance Office that Roger had mentioned to you, 2 of our members of the National Insurance Office are specifically dedicated to government, which is unique, and that goes to show that we commit those resources as well to the government sector, and they'll spend on the National Insurance Office level quality control and industry guidelines, working directly with those folks in California on those matters. Not to mention you have Roger and myself and 40 other partners in California who all spend quite a bit of time in this industry that will continue to guide and lead the California staff on industry and regulatory matters as well.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Mr. Ruffino.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. How does your firm plan on insurance compliance with revised 508 standards for accessibility of all deliverables, including any electronic content?
Could you start over, Frank? I think we might have missed the first. Read that again.
Sure.
I'm not hearing you. There we go.
Okay, can you hear me now? How does your firm plan on insurance compliance with revised 508 standards for accessibility of all deliverables, including any electronic content?
I just want to make sure we're talking about the same thing. You're talking about, like, for instance, an example would be if there's an electronic document on our that we give to you and Calpers puts on your system that can be read or listened to. It's more like meeting the ADA requirements. Is that what you're referring to?
That's correct.
Okay.
I believe so.
All right, thank you. I think it's back to, we've got a core people within our organization, and we will be looking to our people in our national office that deal with, one, from a communications perspective, also from a compliance side of things when it comes to make sure that that we're meeting these compliance, that we have the technical and that we have the understanding, like, for instance, from a PowerPoint presentation, putting together a PDF, all that information to make sure that we're on top of that. We will assign someone from the team that will work with Calpers and work with the team and making sure all the documents and everything that's available will be provided to you. But of course, I'll be ultimately responsible in making sure that we're meeting those requirements. Is there anybody else on the panel that'd like to add to that?
Lee, I can speak to data protection if I could. I just want to add that, I mean, the data protection is a foundational tenet in our firm, and we treat all of our clients' data like our own. We have a formal information security program that drives all of our practices for security, availability, and confidentiality of data. Our program takes into consideration relevant standards and legal and regulatory and contractual requirements, including the NIST cybersecurity framework and Graham-Leach-Bliley and HIPAA, the payment card industry data security standard. We utilize industry-leading technologies, and we have a dedicated team of security professionals that drives our firm's security posture.
Thank you, Eric.
Can you please explain your proposed fees and your rationale for allocating staff hours across all 5 years? Do you anticipate less effort in each subsequent year? And if so, how is that built into your fee structure?
Okay. You know, this is one of those situations we basically started from scratch. You know, we have our experience working with the our other plans. You know, we have a good understanding of the efforts and the energy that we need to have for, you know, looking at the investments or contribution testing. And so we have a pretty good feel for how much time it takes to get through those type of areas. But then, of course, we went back and we looked at the financial statements. We also, you know, gained a better understanding about the GASB 68 allocation reports. You know, seeing that, you know, the amount of work that was associated with that, and based on that is what we put together our estimated hours. And I'll be honest, it is totally an estimate. We're pretty certain about them. But you know, we know that in the first year we will definitely be off between 10 and 15% because the first year transaction takes more time to get through it. But we didn't budget that because we feel that that's our investment into the process, and so we budgeted on an ongoing perspective. And so, you know, we put those hours, and we know that they're going to change from different areas to other areas from year to year. We did not specifically build into that whether you know, it's going to take less time, because we know that it's an average. You know, 1 year investment may take you know, a couple thousand hours, and next year it might be only be 1,750, and then another year be 2,500. And so it's our best estimate going forward. So again, we build it from scratch based on experience and also looking at your reports.
Thank you. And the final question will come from Ms. Middleton.
All right, thank you. Is there anything that you would like to add?
You know, I'm going to ask Eric Berman to address that. He specifically said prepared for that one.
Well, thank you so much. And first, I wanted to thank members of the committee interviewing us and taking the time to do it. You know, again, I've been in your shoes, and I've interviewed sets of auditors when I was a deputy controller. I understand what you're going through. You're saying again, why us? You're making an investment in us. But I think, as you saw from our proposal, we're providing a lot of unique and talented individuals who will be dedicated and dedicating our resources to you. For example, 3 investment partners all over the state of California that will work on the census data testing so that we can regionalize things, working with folks at the local governments and making it as efficient and effective as possible. And then finally, you're getting a diverse practice. You're getting folks with new ideas. We're also at the forefront of change. For example, during your engagement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
So the time has expired for the 20-minute question answer. So at this time, I'll ask whether any of the subcommittee have any clarifying or follow-up questions for Eide Bailly LLP.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to ask one. Could you talk about your understanding of your role and relationship with both the board and with staff?
Okay. The way we've always looked at it, we work for the board/audit committee, but we work with management. So our ultimate responsibility is reporting to those in charge of governance, and that we report to you. We work for you. Now, we need to and have the right kind of business relationship with management to be able to get the right information, be able to get through the audit on the most effective and efficient perspective. Also, need to work with them and have the right relationship so that while we're going to find things, things are going to come up that can be potential management comments or maybe a potential breakdown in controls. But we've got the right relationship where we can go to the people, discuss with them. We can be upfront but respectful, and be direct. And so and that's the the overall how we take a look at it between the board of governance and also with management. We got to work with both, and we have to work on that fine line. But overall, we've been doing it. We've been working with a lot of entities and have built a great relationship with our clients, but also making sure we know who we report to. Eric.
Certainly, it's certainly, just to finish that thought, again, we're not into gotcha audits, but we also realize who we are working for. And if we see something, once we verify it, we'll say something.
Hey, thank you. Eide Bailly LLP, this concludes your interview. I would like to thank the representatives from Eide Bailly LLP for their time today and ask them to please leave the WebEx at this point. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
And yeah, we'll take a few moments and queue up KPMG, and we'll come back when they're ready to go.